Alright, Marsman here. Welcome everybody. This is the second world tour and showcase. This is my first Minecraft video that I put out. Probably some of you may be asking, wait a minute, this is the second world tour. What happened to the first world? Well, there is a first world. There really isn't an awful lot to really show in that world. I may take you for a tour of it at some point. But right now, I'll tell you a little bit why we jumped ahead to the second world. I had played Minecraft a number of years ago, around the 1.0 days, and played it, had a good time with it, and then kind of fell out of doing it. So a while back, a friend of mine said, "Hey, we got a Minecraft server going. Would you like to come in and play it?" It's like, well, sure, okay. So I kind of came in and didn't have any idea what I was going to do, didn't know what I was going to do for a house or anything like that. So I kind of ran into this area that was in the tundra area, the winter biome of the map. And I found this mountain, kind of tunneled myself in to hunker down for the night, and kind of hollowed that out a little bit. And it's like, well, I guess I'll make this my base of operations, and tunneled out the back and found a pretty decent cave that went down in. And I said, okay, well, I'll just gather resources for a while. And since I hadn't played for a while, I kept forgetting about the hunger bar. Kept getting down into the mines and getting wrapped up in collecting that ore and that loot, and kept forgetting to eat and all that sort of stuff. So I had finally decided, after dying several times, that I was going to start making some farms and some ways to produce some food. So from there, it just kind of mushroomed into, well, let's see, why don't I make this kind of like a supply depot for the players in the game. So I started making this big storage room, had a bunch of chests in it, and this was all before the 1.5, however. So at that point, it was a little too late to try to revamp the storage area to use hoppers and things along that line. The space was kind of limited, and it was what it was. The guys had been playing on the server for a while, and they were getting a little tired because they had pretty much built all of their houses, and they were kind of running out of things to do. And it's like, hey, maybe we should consider having a new world. And that was cool. I had no problem with that, and I ended up finally taking over the server. I'm the admin of the server now. So when we came up to the idea of maybe going and doing another world, it's like, well, maybe we should look into the bucket server where we can do things like multiverse and actually have multiple worlds in the same server, because I didn't really want to lose the work that I had done there, and I don't think any of them completely abandoned that. And plus, the nice thing about multiverse is you can take your inventory across between worlds, so that's a great advantage when you're trying to set up a new world. So we made a new world. As I said, I took over the server, and I was flying around kind of exploring the map, because we have Dynamap on this server, and I came across this little spot right here, which I thought was just beautiful. So I kind of built this little glass tower and said, yep, this is going to be my spot. I had some nice waterfalls out there. I've got a desert not too far away. There's some plains over here, and the jungle over on this side with the setting sun was really, really nice. So it's like, yep. And this had a little valley in here, and I thought this is going to be my spot for the second world. So here we are, and I'm here to give you a little bit of a tour of what we've got going on here. And like I said, this world and what I've done here was really inspired from World 1. When I came over to here, it's like, okay, if this is what I'm going to do in Minecraft, is to make a big supply depot and try to create farms and supplies for the other players in the game as well as myself, it's like I'm going to try to do it right. So right now we'll take a quick break. I'll pop down and we will show you the workshop. I'll be right back. Okay, and we are back. I apologize for the frame counter there on Fraps in the top. I didn't realize I had left that on. But here we are at our workshop. I kind of picked this little mountain, had a kind of a neat chasm kind of carved into it. I did a little bit of waterfall work there. Put a little bit of glass in, and this became our base of operations for the workshop. So we'll take a step inside. Basically, when I first got in here, I just hollowed out a completely large room, just made it nice and tall, went all the way to the back and just had a big, gigantic, empty room. And then we sat down and said, okay, what are we going to do first? So one of the first things that I had created was this auto furnace. And this is based off Monkeyfarm's design. You know, I saw him do one of these in the nether. You can hear my cats in the background here. Let me turn the sound down just a little bit on that. Let's see, options, sound, turn that down a little bit. Cat meowing's a little annoying. Okay, so here we are with that, and I will take you for a tour of that in a little bit. The next thing that we built, again, this is a Monkey Farm inspired design, is the automatic brewing station. And we'll go ahead and give you a quick tour of that. Basically, he had the idea that, you know, he didn't want a bunch of complicated switches and things. He just wanted to have some fixed potions and just be able to push a button and not have to worry about it. Now, I did modify his design slightly, and we'll get into that in just a second, but we'll go ahead and take you for a tour behind the scenes. Here we are in the maintenance area. The water bottle chest is here. That automatically feeds through a hopper into the brewing stand. Here we have some empty water bottles, and of course behind us an infinite water source, so we can just fill those up and then load up the chest up here. Of course, everything takes netherwart, so we have a dropper here with netherwart in it that will get dropped in first. All of these buttons are basically brought back through a series of torches and repeaters. This basically this line right here feeds the netherwart, so we want to make sure that those get dropped in first. And then all the various different potions are on different levels, and we'll go up and we'll show you how that works here. This is the fire resistance level, and the line for that switch, it gets brought in here, goes across this dropper. This is where we have some magma cream in here. And then we go through a delay repeater on full delay just to make sure that we've got plenty of time when things are dropped in. This one is, of course, a redstone. And this one is unused, but we put in 3 anyway just in case we want to change this around. Maybe we'd like to turn this into some sort of a splash potion later on. So there are 3 droppers here. This one is currently not being used. But as you can see, we've got access to go in and hit the dropper and refill as needed. So this is the fire resistance level, and then we go ahead and we move on up. All of these are just stacked directly over each other with a center drop that will come right straight down to a hopper that feeds into that brewing stand. So this one is the healing 2 level. Again, our line comes from that set of torches across the first dropper. Glistening melons there, and glowstone dust there, and a spare, of course, in case we want to change this around later on. So we'll go on up to the 3rd level. This is the night vision level. Again, the line coming in from those set of torches. The golden carrots go in here, across to a repeater, full delay, the redstone, and again a spare. And at this point, I wasn't sure what I was going to do for the next set of potions. So we came across Swiftness, and I wasn't sure if Swiftness 2 or Extended Swiftness would be better. And I thought, well, gee, maybe I ought to make that switchable. So this is where I kind of varied away from Monkey Farm's design. Brought a couple of toggle switches up, and basically it starts out exactly the same, goes across the first one. But here what I did is I actually put in a comparator and allowed this comparator to be used as a switch, so that when a signal coming in here, notice I have a repeater right directly butted up against this comparator, so it's full strength, and this one of course has some length to it, so this signal will always override the comparator and turn it off. So if this signal is powered, this dropper never will fire, and then I've gone ahead and gone around, and of course I had to kind of jump over lines here. And here is the other one. Now this one of course is inverted because in the normal state we want this one to run and this one to be off. So even though they're all connected, this is going to be inhibited by this comparator through this. But if I go down and flip the switch, these 2 will toggle. That one becomes live and fired. That inhibits that comparator right there, and then that signal is allowed to come across, and this one will fire. So that allows me to choose between extended or level 2. And we did the same thing upstairs with the very last level. Whoops, missed the staircase here. This is the regeneration. Again, I wasn't sure which was going to be better for my use, was regeneration extended or regeneration level 2. So we did the exact same thing. Basically, we've got a comparator and the lines coming in, again, jumping over the circuits there. And here's our signals coming in. The one is live here, so it is blocking this comparator. But that is basically how this all works, and that works really, really well. Except it was an excellent design. I just took a little bit of leeway and added just a couple of toggle switches to that, so that I could allow for these last two potions to either be either extended when the switch is up, or level 2 when the switch is down. And it works great. The stand, water bottles are automatically loaded in from that chest. And if I just press a button, I get, you can hear maybe the droppers going off. And so now I go in and I look, and I see there's the netherwart. That's gone ahead and fired first. And as this brews up, that'll change that into a mundane potion, I believe it is. I'll tell in a second, see if I remember that correctly. Okay, so that one is now done, and that is aqua potion. That's what it is. And of course, the first ingredient, the magma cream, that was in that first dropper, and that comes down, and that goes ahead and gets added to the mixture. And then the next ingredient, because that repeater was on full delay, that made sure that gave that plenty of time for that next dropper to drop that redstone in and change it from regular potion of fire resistance to an extended one. So give that a couple more seconds, and we should have 3 bottles of extended fire resistance. Pretty cool. It works very, very well. There we go. And so we'll just go ahead and drag that into the inventory. And of course, as you see, as soon as I pull a bottle out, a new bottle of water is automatically dropped in. And that is our potion stand. Automated brewing stand, I should say. So what we did in the back here is just for supply reasons. We have a little quick netherwart farm here with some hoppers that feed directly into that chest. Got some soul sand underneath there. And if I wanted to be able to do that, to harvest those easily, I just push the button. They all go into the hopper, and all I have to do is go grab some new netherwart and replant. Now the sugarcane works a little bit differently. Again, I kind of borrowed this from Monkeyfarm's design. Over here, we've got a circuit with a daylight sensor, and it runs into a piston. This is basically just to create a quick pulse. So as soon as the session goes through, the daylight comes through, that will change. There's just barely see it, there is a redstone torch underneath that. So as soon as this one stops, that redstone torch will go back on. This will cause this to pulse, and being a redstone block, that will basically fire this line inverted there and extended with a repeater. Basically runs along the top, and it goes to a set of pistons that basically cuts off the sugarcane, and a set of droppers right there. And that will allow the automatic feeding of the chest, and I've got those stuck in here in the back. So for easy access, there's our netherwart, and so we'll grab a little of that later to replant that. And our automatic sugarcane, which is probably full. Oh, yes, it is. Okay, so we're going to have to turn some of that into sugar and get that stored up. It's been cranking away and doing a great job. I've got a full chest of sugarcane all set for that. So there is our brewing stand, and I will go ahead and take a short break, and then the next thing we'll go ahead and show you is our automatic sorter, inspired by Dataless, and he had a great design on that. I looked at that and saw, yeah, I really liked the way he set that up, so I went ahead and did something similar, and we'll show you that in just a second. Okay, and we're back. Marsman here in the second world tour and showcase, and what we're going to show you now is the auto sorter. This was, again, inspired by Dataless, and I really liked what he did with the design, so we went ahead and really went crazy with this. He had a pretty big one in his world that he had built, and I made even a bigger one. Uh, Basically, all of these single chests have additional storage behind. We've got the item frames in here that basically indicate what's in every chest. Sand here, and then on opposite side we've got we've got some mixed stuff in there. I'm not sure exactly how that happened. We'll have to look into that. Glass here, um, some brick there, and basically it goes down. I kind of tried to make the ores and then maybe the things that came from the ore, like, bricks come from clay, so on this side I have clay, and I tried to make the bricks somewhere near. But basically this goes down a long, long ways. We have our redstone stuff, and then we have our wood products here, and then pistons and buttons and levers and pressure plates and stairs and slabs and glowstone blocks. We've got slime balls. I mean, we've got just about everything in the game. There are a few items that I don't have in, and we may end up finally having to extend this a little bit further now that the 1.6 is coming out. But we've got our colored wools here and our dyes. But basically, this is a 156 chest storage system. And again, there's additional storage behind each of these single chests, and we'll go and show you the behind the scenes there. These lights are redstone lamps. Basically will pulse anytime something is being sorted. Also, it's an indication that the top chest is starting to fill up if one of these stays on, so that lets you know that you're getting full. And basically this is all a big hopper system, and yeah, as you can see, it's pretty extensive. Here's our feed chest here with a hopper. It goes in. We basically can just dump all of our stuff in here, and it goes into the hoppers. Now let's take you in behind the scenes a little bit and show you a little bit how this works. Down in here, here's where all the hoppers are. Our hopper feed pipe comes in here. These are all the different filters that we have to go in. And you basically set 22 items. You can spread these out, but basically at 22, that's when things will pass through the filter because of this delay here. You've got a comparator coming out of the filter, and it comes down, and underneath you can't see because I have it blocked off, but there's a repeater that comes across, and it basically powers this redstone torch. And as you may know, a redstone torch under a hopper will prevent it from working. So basically that blocks items from going into these chests until it matches up. So as soon as something comes in here that exceeds that 22 number on that filter, that allows us to turn off. Whoops. And basically that allows the item to flow into this hopper and into this chest. And there are 3 double chests for every single chest in that, and this continues all the way down, and then we go across, and then it comes back up the other side, and we'll give you a quick view of that. Down here I've kind of cut things open, dug a little spot so you can actually see the entire mechanism, and that'll allow you to see a little bit better how this works. Again, if you want to see this, Dataless has a complete tutorial on this whole thing, but there's that repeater that's stuck in the middle, and right there you can see the edge of the chest that actually is in the room. And when you've got hoppers, and that comes out of this chest, which is fed through that hopper, that comes out of this chest, which is fed through that hopper, and comes out of that chest, which is fed by the hoppers that come out of the underneath the filters. So 3 double chests for every single chest there. That's a lot of storage. And as I said, this is just one side of the mechanism. This takes a ton of time to build, a ton of hoppers. Watched Dataless do it on his channel, and he spent quite a bit of time doing it, and this took me quite a while to do as well. I actually had a few less chests when I started, and started to fill this all up, and suddenly realized I didn't have enough, so I actually had to extend it a little bit further to encompass most of the items that I wanted to have stored. So just a couple of quick factoids. I went and dug out the calculator and did some math. This storage room has 156 single chests that hold 4,212 slots. As I said, behind each one, there are 3 double chests and 3 hoppers. That's an additional 468 double chests and hoppers. Total capacity 624 chests, 31,824 slots. And if everything had stacks of 64 in all the slots, that's enough storage for 2 million items. I think that's just about all that we're going to need in this game, and should help any of the players. I've told all the guys on here, hey, come help yourself. You know, if you need anything, just come on in and you know, help yourself to any of the stuff in the inventory. We also tied this in a number of other different ways. We made a rail system. These hoppers here are feeding in through into the stairs, into that hopper pipe. And this is actually another Dataless design. When he redesigned his mine shaft, he went ahead and made a rail system. And so we did something kind of similar. Brought the rails all the way down in here, and we basically made a automatic minecart delivery system. This works very similar to the way it works up top. And yes, I am in a slime chunk down here. We'll just take care of this just to avoid the sound. Thank you. Sounds like there's another one someplace. Where is the other one? Oh, he's up there. Okay. Oh, that's a big one, of course. All right, so we'll take care of him and his offspring and the offspring of his offspring, and punching blocks here instead of whacking slimes. Left myself in creative mode, and that makes it a little difficult to try to whack these things and not kill the blocks behind it, like that. Alright, come here, you. Come on. Stop. There. Go away. Got one over here. These things are annoying. Okay, a couple more up here. We'll get rid of these things. Stop. Stop. And quiet you. Alright. One more here, and finally one more. There. Okay. Oh, I still hear one someplace. Ah, there he is. Okay. There. Got rid of all the slimes. Okay. Now, back to this. Okay. Oh, I hear another nasty someplace, but we won't worry about him. Okay, so basically we drop everything into this chest when we're down here mining, and we've got a double set of hoppers that will come in and divide the contents of that chest into each side. As soon as this hopper detects that it has stuff to load, these mine carts are automatically dropped. They fall down into the track. They stay there until they're loaded up. And when the hopper is empty, it powers up those rails. They come up, they turn the corner, and they go up and jump onto the tracks here. And they go automatically all the way back up to the top. And they go over those set of hoppers that are sitting up here at the top of the stairs. And they're automatically held in place, because as soon as they come up and this hopper receives something, it turns these powered minecart rails off. That keeps the carts up here, and they're unloaded until they're empty, and then they are powered back up again, these rails, and the carts are sent all the way back down and are parked in the position that we saw them. So there's an automatic rail delivery system there, and so that works out really well. I had mentioned earlier that I was going to show you a little bit about the auto furnace. And as I said, this was a Monkeyfarm design that I had gone ahead and modified slightly. Initially, I had set it up exactly the way that Monkeyfarm did. You put your fuel in here, and that's automatically fed down into the furnace through a set of hoppers, and then you put your smeltables, whatever you want to do, sand or for glass, or cobblestone for stone, or whatever you need to cook, and that's brought into the top of the furnace there. And then the output is brought up through an item elevator to the pickup box, and they are stored here. Now, what I did that's a little bit different is I wanted to be able to toggle the delivery of the output to either stay up in the top here in this pickup box, Or I wanted to be able to drain this chest and send it back into our auto sorter over there. So this switch does just that. You can see that there is a torch underneath that hopper that prohibits that hopper from running right now. And if I was to go up and flip that switch, you see that torch is now off. And basically that hopper will tie into our auto sorting system through a pipe that's in the back, and we'll go downstairs and give you a quick view of that. It's a little crowded down here, and it took me a few tries to get the design right, because these torches can really interfere with these hoppers, and I had to isolate just that one. So it took me a few tries to kind of get this to work correctly, and kept having some trouble. But basically there is the item elevator. It's basically a series of droppers. When stuff comes out, it goes up through and up to the top, and then it comes out and goes into that chest, and then here is the hopper on the bottom of that chest that's being inhibited by that torch. As long as that torch is on, the stuff stays in the chest there, so I can pick it up if I want to just smelt up something real quickly and be able to have easy access to it. I just leave that on. But if I'm doing a big project and I want to just stock up like a bunch of glass, let's say, I'll just throw some sand in there, and I'll just flip the switch off, and then as stuff comes into the chest, it just comes out and goes across, and again this pipe goes right over into our auto sorting system. So there is the a quick tour of our auto furnace and auto sorter, and I hope you all like that. We'll go ahead and we'll take another quick short break, and we will show you our other item sorter that we have set up for just food, our automated chicken farm, melon farm, and our carrot, wheat, and potato farm. So stand by, we'll be right back. All right, we're back. This is Marsman on our second world tour and showcase. So far we've shown you the brewing station and our auto sorter, along with our auto furnace that we've tied in with that. And of course our little quick farms here that we have to support the brewing stand. Now what I'd like to show you is my second auto sorter that I've set up for just food, and that's what this chest is for. It works very much like the chest over there, but this is just basically for food items. So we have gone and done a very similar design. As you can see, we've got the single chest, and they're set up exactly the same way, but that's cooked chicken and pork chops, steak, cooked fish, raw fish, of course, and so forth. And of course, no surprise, I was saying before in the auto sorter that if this light stays on, that means our top chest is getting full, and no surprise at all that eggs are overflowing the chest, so we'll have to try to take care of those real soon before they jam up the entire system. So we'll go ahead and we'll show you the farms first. I went ahead and made an absolutely huge area, and I'm going to go, being in creative mode here, I'm going to give you a little bit of an aerial tour, but basically these are our 3 farms. I think there are 5 layers. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They are 8 wide. The water runs down along the edge underneath each side here, and of course they'll hydrate for 4 blocks, so there's water over on this side as well. So between the two, they'll cover an 8 wide area. They are, I think, 7 deep. Let's see if I've got that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 6 deep. Nope, 7. That's right. Yep, 7 deep. Nope, 6. I can't count today. I apologize. But basically, the dispensers here is 1 on either side, and they hold a bucket of water, and that's just enough to flood all the way across over the edge, and then down to the next layer, and then down to the next layer, and so forth, all the way to the bottom. Looks like we've got a couple of untilled soils there that we'll have to go take care of somehow. I'm not sure how those got that way. But the hoppers basically collect all the stuff. These are just heavy pressure plates to block the water from flowing into the room. Oh, it looks like we've got a few pieces here somehow that became untilled. We'll have to look into that. But at the other side here, I allowed that this could be controlled either from the bottom, or if you wanted to stand at the top, you could press the button and watch everything go from this side as well. So we've got that this kind of a viewing area in the back all the way across. As I said, maintenance and observation room. And we're going to have to go ahead and fix a couple of those holes. I didn't notice that they were there earlier, so we'll get those squared away in a little bit. But as we come across, these hoppers go all the way across, and I've just kind of got them covered here. And I have needed to make an item elevator because the chicken farm is up above, and that's where I had initially had put the pipe. So this is basically an item elevator. This is some circuitry, so that as the hoppers come in, they go into this bottom dropper, and they are brought up to a level that's up here, and that's where the food pipe comes in. Now, in here, of course, is but like the maintenance area for the item sorter. We have all the guts. Here's all the chests and hoppers and filters, and there is our main food pipe. That, again, just like the other one, runs all the way around and goes down the other side. In the middle here, we have an automated melon farm. Again, that's a Monkeyfarm design. Thank you, Monkeyfarm, for coming up with this really cool one. This works so much better than the one that was in my first world. I did make an automated pumpkin and melon farm, but it definitely had some problems and would lose product squeezing out the sides. This works very, very well with the hoppers and all of that. So basically that all comes around and it feeds down. And it goes across and into the wall here, and again comes out and gets tied in. I think it actually goes over to the item elevator so that it can be brought up to this top level up here, which comes all the way across and into this room. Now this is a small little auto furnace that I had made. I decided there was really no reason for raw meat. You know, the meat we want to have is cooked. So, of course, you do get raw meat here and there. The chickens will sometimes die and drop raw chicken up top. And of course, if you go out and kill anything, your food is your meat is raw from pigs and cows. So we basically set up this quick little filter, and inside each one is just 3 items. Whoops, I didn't get that one. I apologize. Let's see if I can get right on the filter. Okay, that's the chicken one. That's for raw chicken. This one is for raw pork, and of course, that one is for raw beef. So anytime all of the pipes, the one from the chest in the other room, come in here. The stuff from the farm, the carrot farm, and the chicken farm, that all comes across in this pipe, and it all passes across this filter. And if any of those items is detected, then they're brought down, and very similar to the other side, there is a furnace here that will cook up those items, and then they're brought across and brought into an item elevator, very similar to the auto furnace, brought up, and then basically ejected back into the pipe. So any raw meat that comes by, automatically cooked, and then injected, and then goes into our auto sorting system and put it into the appropriate spot. Now, if you wanted to cook something manually, simply drop it into this hopper, and it will automatically go in and get cooked like everything else. This is, again, also a Monkeyfarm design. He wanted to make a quick mushroom soup dispenser. So over on Mooshroom Island, Mooshroom Island, that's a horrible thing to have to pronounce. We got ourselves a Mooshroom Cow, and he's all the way in the back there in that minecart. So if we empty our pockets here and hold in an empty spot, as soon as I step on that pressure plate, a bowl is automatically dispensed from the dispenser here. And yep, there's my bowl, and here comes our Mooshroom Cow. We can simply right-click on it. There we go. There is our mushroom stew. We step off the plate, and the cow goes all the way to the back, so we don't have to listen to him moo. So that is our mushroom dispenser, and that's how that works. We might eventually put a small cactus farm in this area. I haven't really decided as of yet. But that is basically the guts, our auto cooker, and part of our supply chain for our carrot, potato, and wheat farms. Again, all that stuff is pumped in, goes up an item elevator and into that food pipe and onto our auto sorting storage where we have all of that stuff right up here. And finally, we're going to take you on a tour of our automated chicken farm. And look at this, we have an escapee somehow. Somehow he got out. I don't know how he managed to do that, but he's not going to live long. Okay. Yeah, and there we go. We've got a piece of raw chicken. So we'll go ahead and go in and we'll drop that into our chest, and that will automatically go through our auto cooker in the other room, get cooked into cooked chicken, and then brought into our item sorter. So up here, this is a Dataless design. He made a really elaborate pyramid-shaped type building for his automated chicken farm, and it was pretty cool. I just took something a little simpler, and oh, we've got some malfunctions going on here, it looks like, so we'll have to go in and try to fix that. Once in a while the lava gets stuck on, maybe it's due to log in or log outs, but we will fix that in a minute as well. Basically this is our chicken farm, and up top we have the breeders. These guys, basically I've got now just 4 chickens. I started out with a lot more, and it about melted my computer because I've got 12 chambers here, and I originally put like 10 chickens in each chamber, and the amount of eggs that were coming out and the lag was just incredible. So I've weaned myself down. I went down to 6, and now I'm down to 4, and that seems to be fairly tolerable. So all these guys do is lay eggs, and there are 4 half slabs underneath there and a set of hoppers. And these hoppers basically feed eggs down to a dispenser. And when this dispenser senses that it has something in it, there's a circuit in the back that fires those eggs out, and those that hatch fall into these lower chambers down here. So that's all these guys do. They just make eggs, and they get smashed by the dispensers that are in between the levels, and whatever chickens are hatched come out down here. Now we have a mixture of both baby chickens and grown-up chickens. We have some that have grown up, and like here we've got a couple of adults and a couple of kids, but they're on half slabs as well with a set of hoppers. So if the adults happen to lay eggs, that's where the eggs come from. They go into the hopper pipe and get brought downstairs into our item sorter. But we also have 4 dispensers here with lava buckets, and once a day when the sun comes up, these fire off, and because they're up a half a block off the ground, because there is a half slab down there, there's one of our baby chickens just recently joining the pack here. Because they're up a half a block, and chickens are a half a block tall, the baby ones aren't hit by the lava blade, but the adults are. So that's just a quick lava pulse that comes out and withdraws, and that allows the adults to be cooked. And so they drop cooked chicken and feathers, and those are all absorbed through the hoppers and brought downstairs. For any reason, if any one of them dies, sometimes they get locked in the blocks here and they suffocate. So if there's raw chicken, again, our auto cooker will take care of that. Now, these were glass all the way around on all 4 panes, like the ones upstairs, but I had a huge amount of escapees. They would walk right through the glass. So I found that if I put a couple of stone blocks on the bottom and just had the upper part of this in glass, I had a lot less escapees. So we'll go ahead and show you a quick thing behind the scenes. I'm not sure why that lava stuck on, but we'll have to break in there and reset that in a little bit. But here's basically the circuitry. That circuit right there basically watches the dispenser, and as soon as the hoppers have eggs from the breeders up top and go into that dispenser, this circuit just makes a quick pulse and fires off all those eggs. And those that hatch, of course, fall down. Here's the repeaters that basically are going to our dispensers for the lava block, and they're all tied together through a series of repeaters and so forth, all the way down here to the end. And there is the daylight sensor, and when that goes off, we make a quick pulse through the circuit. That redstone lamp will turn on, and basically this line goes through directly, so that's a quick pulse that turns it on, and then we have a series of repeaters that delay it, to go into that and turn it back off again, about a quarter of a second or maybe half a second later. This circuitry here coming out of the wall is basically a cutoff switch, so that we can just flip a switch in the middle. We have it down here in the back, and this switch right here runs to both sides and basically allows us to disable the cooker. If we just want egg, we would. Cooked chicken is a lot more useful than the eggs are, and basically I find I get all the eggs we need. There we go. There's our daylight pulse. You just saw the lava blades come in and out. All the adults are now gone. We have nothing but baby chickens here, so no baby chickens were harmed in this, and again, that stayed on. We'll have to worry about that in a little bit, but for whatever leakage that we do have out of these pens, and sometimes, you know, you'll find meat, sometimes feathers, sometimes actual chickens. We saw one running around earlier. If we clean those up, we basically can just drop it into this hopper right here. I'm sorry, this chest, which is sitting over the hopper chain that runs around the outside. This other side basically is a duplication of the left side. Just show you real quickly. There it is. Just exactly like the other side, daylight sensor, all of that. But at the back of each row, say now we've got an escapee right there. How did you get out of there? All right, make sure we take care of him. Okay, so I have a piece of raw chicken and a feather. I could just pop it into this chest right here, and the feathers, and they'll automatically go downstairs into our food inventory. So there you go. There is a tour of the chicken farm. Again, a great Dataless design. This is going to drive me crazy. I think we'll jump in and we'll fix that right now. Thank goodness for creative mode. That definitely helps. If I can, getting a little bit of lag from all these chickens. So, all right, let's see if we can come down in and we'll get some dirt in here and see if we can snuff out this. There we go. And we'll pop those back out. There we go. That should be reset. Sometimes they get stuck. You can see the dispenser in the back up there. It does give us a chance to let us look at that at least. But that fires the eggs into that wall, and then they go ahead and drop down. So let me get some stone here, and we'll fix up this hole. There we go. So that coop has been repaired. I'm not sure why the lava sticks. Every once in a while, I'm not sure if I happen to catch it during login or something where that gets stuck on, but it's easy enough to fix. You basically just kind of break out a block and get up there and just drop some blocks and get it all snuffed out from the lava, and then after that it's good to go. So there you have our automated chicken farm, and again, my warning, watch out. You might have some escapees running around in there. So that is our food side of things, our farms, our melons, and our chickens, and it does produce a ton of cooked chicken. I'm sure that I'm surprised the light isn't on here because we have a ton of cooked chicken. Now there's a full single chest there, and I don't know how much is backed up behind it, but there are 3 double chests behind this, and I'm sure that they're well on their way. And here we are. We're seeing the item sorter do its thing. Looks like some bread was. Oh, okay. We're getting backed up here. That's what's going on. Okay, we got to get that fixed. Yeah, we're jammed up here because of this egg thing, and now we're starting to get stuff flowing into the previous chest, and that's not good. So we got to get that squared away. So anyway, that is our tour of that. We'll go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll show you the Iron Golem Farm outside, and also our tree eater. That's coming up next on the Second World Tour. So thank you so much, and we'll be back for our next part of the Second World Tour and Showcase.